As many of us feel the devastating consequences of late-stage capitalism, alternatives have become a popular topic. We can't opt out of capitalism completely overnight. It's the organizing logic of our economies and infrastructure. But we can reduce dependence, build alternatives, and make collective systems that shift power and resources away from bosses, landlords, and corporations and into democratic social control. Here are some steps for weaning ourselves off the capitalist machine. The first phase in weaning ourselves off capitalism includes reducing our consumption and reclaiming autonomy. These can include things like first doing an audit of what you consume as far as food, clothes, subscriptions, apps. Try to buy less and reuse more. Practice communal consumption through things like tool libraries. You can also grow and forage your own food. Opt out of predatory financing through corporate banks by switching to credit unions. And practice time budgeting. And remember, don't fall for ethical consumerism as the only route. It helps but can't replace collective power. Buying sustainable products from big brands can easily be greenwashing. After reducing our consumption and becoming more mindful of what we buy and how much we buy, the next phase is to build community and mutual aid. You can start or join a mutual aid network that pools resources for people in need. Form affinity working groups for skills such as sewing, repairing, mechanics, cooking. Share a time bank. People can deposit hours helping others and can withdraw hours in return. And create community childcare or cooperative care pools. Now, mutual aid can burn out the same activists, so it's important to rotate roles, set boundaries, and avoid hero culture. After getting communities set in place, the next phase is to build democratic economic institutions, such as co-ops, land trusts, and commons. You can launch or join a worker co-op. These are owned and run democratically by their employees. Create or support housing co-ops and community land trusts. Launch a community-supported enterprise model, such as solar or wind or bulk buy stores. Set up solidarity finance mechanisms like community loan funds or rotating credit associations, and develop non-extractive small business models. By leading the way and showing people how business doesn't have to be predatory, we can set the grounds for the future that we want. With these policies in place, we can now fight for structural policy change on a larger scale. Unionize and support labor organizing. Elect and pressure for public provision of services such as universal health care, public housing, and living wages. Push for legal support for co-ops and commons. Campaign for progressive taxation and corporate accountability. Institutional change is slow, so it's important to focus on winnable, local fights that build capacity and public support. Start from the ground up. Finally, as we build from the ground up, our final phase is to sustain and defend this kind of community support. We can scale horizontally through federations, protect commons from co-optation, build political culture and education by running classes on radical political economy, and ensure intergenerational continuity. Train young people, create apprentices, and codify governance practices so institutions don't rely on a few charismatic leaders. Because weaning ourselves off capitalism isn't about retreating into communes. It's about building mass capacity for democratic, cooperative alternatives that meet people's needs and redistribute power. Thanks for watching.